Hello, this is Tom Chambers for PokerSavvy.com making a 3-6 and 2-4 PLO sweat video. Stepped right into an interesting situation on the lower left table. I was double barreling the turn after turning a very good, an overpair turned a very good card. I think I actually on this river I'm very often I'm going to check and win a decent amount, but I don't think there's any value in a bet. So yeah, it turns out he had just a pair of fours. When he check calls the turn like that, he's got to draw the vast majority of the time. Really, the only way that I'm in. This is an interesting situation here. Three pair, bottom three pair, and a non-nut flush draw. If I had the nut flush draw here, I would be very happy with this situation because all these sort of hidden outs, the boat outs are definitely worth something. But with just a king high flush draw and a good chance that somebody else has a nut flush draw, I could be drawing close to dead. So it's definitely a fold. Anyway, on that hand on the lower left, he check called the flop, which you didn't see. I was just firing up the recorder at that point. He check called the flop, Jack 7-3, the type of a board texture. I forget exactly what it was. Let's see if we can pull it up. Pulling it up off screen, Jack 5-3, and then the turn brought a bunch more draws. There was already a flush draw on the flop. Then there were a second flush draw on the turn. I had overpair and a wrap with no flush draw. He check calls the flop, checks the turn. He very often has no pair and a draw, which I'm depending on how strong of his draw is, I'm somewhere between a slight favorite and a solid favorite. The pair of kings is actually worth quite a bit in that situation. So I'm more than happy to get stacks in on the turn. I'm often gonna obviously make the nuts straight on the river, and I will be able to, like I did there, check back and win with a pair of kings on the river as well. Most of the river draw completing cards that didn't make my hand, if you were to have bet, basically all the flush cards, would probably have to fold despite getting really good odds, because just with a pair of kings you wouldn't expect it. Well, I mean, I have a bluff catcher, and on the bluff cards, on the draw completing cards that don't make my hand, I've got to figure he's got it a little bit too often, and he could accidentally have the best hand. He could have a hand that didn't, that makes two pair and shove the river and be value betting against my kings. But on that particular river, I was sure I had the best hand. I just often enough, it's just that he needs to have something very specific, like top pair combo draw hand that decides to call off the rest on the river. I don't think you get called by a worse hand more than half the time that you get called. It's actually a reasonable spot to triple barrel even with a relatively short stack, because he had so many draws in his range in the turn and a lot of them, or pretty much all of them, missed. The only one that completed was a low straight 7-6. Anyway, there's a lot of talk about a hand that happened quite a bit ago, so let's move on and try to find a new situation.